10 years ago, I'm making dinner when I get a call from the drug rehab center my son is in. Mr. Nelson, Hayden's had a seizure. He's been taken to the ER. When I get to the emergency room, Hayden's still on a stretcher, hooked up to beeping monitors. Nurses, doctors, and lab techs are running all around the room. When Hayden sees me, he erupts. The center didn't give me my meds. They let me have a seizure. I'm not going back. Whoa. He's 21 years old. This is a voluntary program, and he has the right to leave rehab anytime. Another nurse comes in to take blood, and he gets even more upset. Finally, I yell, "Everyone, out! I need a moment alone with my son." Now it's just me and Hayden. His breathing is shallow, teeth clenched, and I don't know what to say. Then I get an idea. Hey, bud. You know that I finished an Ironman triathlon a few weeks ago. Every time I compete in big races, I always dedicate sections of the race to different people. This time, the whole race was dedicated to you. He softens a bit, so I keep going. It was my best race ever. And this time, I didn't almost die on the swim. During the race, I just kept praying that you would know how much I love you. His eyes fill with tears, and he opens his arms. I walk over and welcome the biggest hug. I love you, Dad. And I've always wanted to do a triathlon with you. I wipe my eyes and we set that as a goal. And then I ask, what's the happiest moment you can remember? He closes his eyes, and a minute later, this huge smile appears on his face. There, what are you thinking about right now? We're on the submarine in Hawaii, Dad. And I remember we were the last ones to get on. I was sitting in between Braxton and Carly, wearing my red Nike shirt that turned blue when we got deeper. There were sea turtles playing with the subs and all those fish at the shipwreck. It was so cool. Then he looked straight at me. That was my best day, Dad. I promise that when he finishes his program, our family will go back to Hawaii and take another submarine. Hayden died 3 weeks later, 4 days after leaving his programs. I love my son, and I sure miss him. Over the years, I want to say that I've made friends with grief. I haven't. Instead, I look at grief like a bad party guest. He shows up uninvited, makes a big mess, and then leaves without cleaning up. Grief is not my friend. But ancient spiritual wisdom tells us that sometimes your enemy is your greatest teacher. Grief has taught me some meaningful lessons. One of those lessons is the realization of how important the moments of our lives actually are. Take, for example, that moment that Hayden shared with me from Hawaii. I think about this a lot because while we were actually on the submarine, I was enjoying it. We were on family vacation, doing a fun activity. It was a good day. But what if I had known that just a few weeks before Hayden left this earth, he would identify that moment, that one, as the happiest of his life? It didn't seem extraordinary at the time. But knowing what I know now, would I have approached that moment a little differently? Specifically, would I have been more intentional and more emotionally connected during that experience? Which brings me to the question, what is your happiest moment? Feel it for a minute. How priceless is it? Was someone there with you? And here's what you need to do. Share your experience of that moment with someone. It might just be the most valuable gift they ever receive. Another of grief's lessons presented itself in a very different way. Several years ago, my wife Christy wanted a new car, the Kia Telluride. We take a test drive and Christy loves it, loves this thing. It's pretty expensive, but if we trade in our current vehicle, I think we can make it work. So I say yes. It's getting late at the dealership, but I know the salesman. And he says, hey, go home and relax. Come back tomorrow. I'll have all the paperwork and your new car waiting for you. Okay. So we get in our car, drive a couple miles towards home, when I hear Christy sobbing. And I'm thinking, what's going on? So I pull over. What's the matter, sweetie? She lifts her head slightly, looks towards the top of the windshield. Finally, she's able to talk. Every time I get in this car, I look in the rearview mirror and I still see Hayden sitting there in the back seat. This car reminds me of him, and I don't know if I can let it go. Okay, honey, we don't have to do this. We can keep this car. It's going to be okay. She looks at me. No, we need to change. It's just hard. I don't ever want to forget seeing Hayden's face in that mirror. In the morning, Christy leaves for work, and I go to sign the papers. But first, I run by a repair shop, one that we've used for a number of years. I find the service manager and ask a strange favor. But when I explain myself, he takes care of it immediately. A few hours later, I drive our new Telluride home and park it in the middle of the driveway. About 6:15 p.m., Christy comes home from work, gets out of her car, gives me a big smile. She walks over and opens her new Telluride door and immediately starts crying again. But this time, I know why. On the driver's seat is the rearview mirror that I had removed from the old car, along with a note that says maybe we can't live our lives looking in the rearview mirror, but we can glance in it every now and then and acknowledge the beauty that we've seen along the way. 7 years later, that mirror still sits on Christy's nightstand. Recognizing beauty is another of grief's lessons. And we can always reflect on the beauty that we've seen in our past. But maybe the greatest lesson grief has taught me is how to live with gratitude in the present moment. This lesson shows up as a question that grief has taught me to ask myself. And the question is this: If this were the last time that I get to do what I'm doing right now, am I giving this moment the honor, the presence, and the appreciation that it deserves? Today might be the day that you look back on as the happiest of your life. Or today, you might be involved in the best day for someone you love. Are you giving today the presence that it deserves? Because no one knows exactly how much time we have. And there's not much I claim to know for sure. But I know that everyone on this planet gets a better me because of Hayden. As you live your life, I hope you can recognize the value of your moments. May you acknowledge the beauty that you've seen along your journey, and may you give this moment the honor, the presence, and the appreciation that it deserves.